Welcome back, everyone. It's Craig Maynard, and now we'd like to speak to you guys about how to do a pick and place operation using Robot Studio. Now, in the previous exercises, we've already created the purple clips and we've allowed them to slide down to the bottom here. We have a board to place them on. We've created a gripper that can open and close, and we're going to tie it all together and see how it works. So the first thing we want to do is set up the targets for the robot to move through its pick and place operation. To do that, what we're going to do is run our simulation and generate a purple clip. So we're just going to make a clip come down. Now this clip is transient, so it's only going to be there as long as the simulation is running. So now we have to stop the simulation, but the clip will go away. So what I'm going to have to do is go to my source for the purple clips and make sure the transient is turned off. Right? Make sure the transient's turned off, and I'll just apply that, and I'll close that back up. And now when I turn off the simulation, the clip remains. If you find your clip disappears when you turn off the simulation, it's because you haven't got the source set on transient, or not transient. You got it set on transient, and that's why it's going away. All right, so now what we want to do is set up the first position, the pick position. So you set up your gripper, and you're going to just move the gripper over top of where you expect you want to pick up the clip from, and make it a little lower than that. That doesn't look too realistic. And let's see now, perhaps a little higher. It's going to take some playing around, a keen eye, and just move it around until you get it the way you'd like to have it. And you can see now the clip is right there on the nicely lined up with the tool center point. Now if you want, you can go up to your gripper and you can do a mechanism jog joint, and you can close the gripper, and that looks pretty good, but maybe a bit off. Perhaps I should slide it over a little bit. Just something like that. That looks like a good pickup point. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. That'll be our first point. So let's go up to up to the home menu and the teach target. So what we're going to do is we're just going to teach that target. So if we go to path and targets right there, we can see target 10. And I'm going to quickly rename that as long as I'm here. Let's rename that. Well, I can't rename it quite yet. Not while I'm simulating. Okay. There we go. Rename. And we're going to call that pick. Pick. Target. We could maybe even call it pick purple, because we might have a pick yellow a little bit later. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. So we've got our first target down. Let's put a few more targets in place. So I'm going to go straight back right now. See, I'm using the linear jog, and I've just gone straight back from that point. And that's a good place for a second one. So I'm going to call that target 10. We'll teach that target. Now let's take our gripper, and we'll just rotate it till it's pretty much vertical. And I'm just going to eyeball it here at this point. It looks very vertical to me. Fine. And we'll teach that target. And let's see how we're doing. We got 2 targets right now. Awesome. We're going to move it back over to here. See how far back we can go. Teach that target. We'll move it over our board someplace. Having some geometry problems here. It looks good. I'm just going to move it to the middle of the board. In my case, the board seems a little close to the robot right now. I probably want to move it further out. Okay, and we'll teach that target. And we're going to move, and I don't want to go into the board. I'm going to just drop it on the board right about from here. Okay, and we'll just teach that last target, target 50. And I'm going to rename that one place purple. Okay, just so I know. Okay, so now I've got all those points all set up. It might be a really good idea. You can see the robot seems to move quite nicely around there. Those are good targets. Okay, so let's take these things and we'll make a path out of them. So we'll just choose all of those targets right here, and we're going to add to a new path. And if the path isn't already set up as an entry point, you might want to click there and set it as a simulation entry point. Okay, now things are a little out of place down here. So I'm picking the purple and I'm placing it. So what I want to do is I want to pick it and then place it at the end. So pick it and move to these points and then place it when it's at the other end. And then we probably want to go back in opposite order. So I'm going to take all these guys. These ones, I'm going to do a Control C, Control V. So we're going to Control C them. And then we're going to go down here. And we should be able to paste them. And create new targets. Yes, please. So now we can see the new targets are placed. And I want them in the reverse order. So if I went 10, 20, 30, 40, I think we should go 40, 30, 20. Let's put 20 right there, and 10. All right. Now that should bring the robot back over the top of the next target. So there's a nice little path. Let's just go here and let's just check the configuration. So we'll auto configure that path, make sure it can do it. Well, looks like it can. Good. Seems to be quite happy with that path. So if we want at this point, let's run this path and see if we can simulate it. So we're going to synchronize this thing, synchronize it to rapid. Okay, and hopefully it's over there now. So if we go to the rapid simulator, close up that window because it's just getting in my way. Thank you. And we'll go down to path 10 and we'll check it out. Proc path 10. That looks great. Okay. So now, if we were to go to our simulation right here and play it, robot moves in, moves across, goes back, lets the thing down. So the motion looks great. The only thing that's really missing right here is the gripper opening and closing. So let's take care of that. So if you recall, in the last video, we went to our I/O simulator and we created an opening and closing signal. If you go to your system, your device, and look at your digital outputs, you created something. I think you called it AD0 or AD1 or something like that. I've renamed mine gripper open, so that's my signal that opens a gripper. So you can see as I click on gripper open, the gripper opens and closes. So we're going to use that gripper open and close in our program. So all we have to do is go back to rapid, and we're going to go into our program again. And let's see right here, after move to the pick position, we're going to open the gripper. So we're going to do that. We're going to set gripper open, and there it is right there. Gripper open, and yours would be D01 or whatever it is we did. So it's going to open the gripper. Now, and then we're going to move to the place position, and we're going to reset gripper open, semicolon, like that. And if I've got the polarity right, that should do the trick. Okay, so let's go back here again, and we'll just run the program one more time. Okay, so we have this moving in exactly the opposite of what we want to have. So obviously I've got the digital signal set backwards. So we're going to just stop that. We're going to go back to our program here, and instead of setting it here, I want to reset it there. And I want to set it after we place it. So you have to make sure your polarities are correct too, your binary polarities. All right. Okay, and we'll just run this again. And now you see the robots picking and placing. And picking and placing. All right, everything's good. Now, at this point, something's missing. What's missing is we're not actually picking the part and placing it. We're just going through the motions. Now we have to set up a smart component that's going to allow us to pick and place that part. And I'm going to use the next video to show you how to do that.